Hey guys, it's me, Foma. Welcome back. It's been a real long minute. It's been like maybe several weeks since I last touched base with you guys, and a lot has changed since then. Um, I just wanted to share the new direction of where this group is going. I'm very excited because there's a lot of changes that I plan on applying to this group, and I have so much to share with you. So, if you've noticed, the name of this group is no longer called Dream Chaser. It's now called Highly Sensitive and Intuitive Nurse Entrepreneurs. And many of you who are part of this group started when I found this group way back in August of last year, which was Nurse Boss is a Lifestyle. And I did this because I'm a registered nurse. Not only am I a registered nurse, I'm a registered nurse who was burnt out for a while, for about maybe a year or so. And I was in a dark place. I was depressed about, it was more not about nursing itself. It was just this frustration because I was in this place of how can I leverage my hard-earned nursing background, my medical background, skills that can change someone's life, can save someone's life, but also own a business where I have true freedom and unlimited options and control over my schedule. How can I do that? And hey, Tanika, thanks for joining. And how can I do that? So I was in this place of really frustration because I desired to be that person who's at Starbucks and working from my laptop. And I felt being a nurse, I had more than what it took to own a business, but because I didn't have people in my surroundings who were doing what I was doing, it was hard to visualize that at that time. So it took me around 2 years just to start my way of being certified as a life coach, business coach, and also bridging my nursing background with that. And so I went through a lot of, trials and errors. And so that's what prompted me to do this group because like many of you, you guys have more passions than being a nurse. You have other things about you that makes you a very versatile woman. You're creative, you have other talents. However, I do have it's a real burning passion for me to show nurses who, hey Shayna, thanks for joining. I really want to show nurses who, I wouldn't say hate nursing because nursing is so broad, but nurses who feel bedside nursing is the only option for them to make a great income, because in California, it's very easy to make 6 figures plus by just working 3 12-hour shifts. That's at least my experience personally. And we really worked hard to get our skills as a nurse. And for me, I'm at this place where I will always be a registered nurse, no matter how many patients I don't see in the hospital, even though I'm not starting IVs and doing blood transfusions. I will always be a registered nurse because the skills that they've taught us in nursing schools and that we've honed in as registered nurses, you can always transfer it elsewhere. The confidentiality, being a trustworthy person, being able to analyze, results, to be able to read really difficult medical terminology, to have that art of being a compassionate listener and counselor for very intricate family dynamics when a patient has just found out they have a really severe prognosis, and then you also have to balance the family member, the medicine, all these things. Those skills are very transferable to opening up a business. And it hasn't, and when I say a business, it doesn't mean a business that's related to health. There's a lot of you nurses who desire to own a business that's not related to health because you just want to do something different, and that's okay as well. So during your time in this group, and if you've noticed, the members are significantly less because Personally, I had my grandfather on my mother's side passed away, and I went to Nigeria to put him to rest. And those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, saw a short video about that, and it made me really rethink a lot of things. And I was going back and forth if I should continue the direction of this group and start from scratch, because I wanted to bring new energy. I'm one of those people who, if I can just make an influence on one person in this group, my objective has been completed. I'm a private person. This is not a popularity contest for me. This is really a way for you to realize you have everything that it takes to make your dreams come true, specifically owning a business that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want while using your nursing knowledge in a new way, a new creative way. So with that said, because this group is in a new direction, is for highly sensitive and intuitive nurse entrepreneurs. So if you are a nurse who maybe you're not burnt out, because some of you guys are great with your self-care. You are great with your self-care, so you're blessed that you're not burnt out, but maybe you want something new. I don't know about you, but it gets to a certain point where I was a staff nurse, then I thought about being a travel nurse because I love travel. Freedom is the biggest thing for me. I don't really need all the securities of health insurance and all those things. Not that it's not important, but I can pay for those things myself. But it got to a certain point where with travel nursing has its limitations. Maybe this type of specialty that I wanted to work in nursing wasn't available for that location, or the recruiters were kind of a little bit funny, or being the new person explaining my story and going through all these little modules that they make you take at each hospital just got really annoying. I was just like, man, I'm ready to just do my own thing. Maybe you're there, and that's what this group is for. I understand when you work long shifts, 12-hour shifts, on your days off, you just want to catch up with your family, catch up on rest, and you get so tired. So to think about opening a business, it does come off as something that's overbearing. And that's what I do, as an intuitive business mentor. I've been where you were. I've been as a nurse where, I was, maybe you weren't in a dark place, but I was in a dark place because I just spent a significant amount of money. This was my third degree. I have 2 other degrees aside from nursing, and this is my third degree, and I'm still not completely satisfied. And the thought of starting from scratch really made me feel a certain type of way. So, but it's all coming together, because at the end of the day, now I can help my clients avoid what I went through and get there quicker. So, if you're at a place where we're already at March 2017, and if you can remember where you were this time last year and it wasn't in a happy place, just remember you can be in the same place next year. And it's not to scare you, but it's just to wake you up, because life is short. Burying my grandfather made me remember that. And it was just like a lot of synchronicities of like, life is short. Like, really, what are you worried about? Like, life is really short. What are your priorities? And so I took time for this group. I made it a secret group. I removed all the members because I just wanted to just go back to the core of what I wanted for you guys. So now, I'm starting up again, and those of you who are re-added because you're friends of my group, and the rest I can't add because because they're not friends. So if you have nurse friends who are at a place where they'll be interested in learning opportunities on how they can become a holistic spiritual nurse entrepreneur, and they're highly sensitive or intuitive, please add them, and then I'll just approve the request shortly. Add 2 friends that, each, and over time we'll build it back up. I'm not really concerned about it coming back up, that'll be fine. But my biggest goal for you guys is, over the course of this week, every day I have a theme that is all about building you to take daily steps into becoming a spiritual nurse entrepreneur. And when I say spiritual nurse entrepreneur or intuitive nurse entrepreneurs, a lot of people think of like some woman with crystals or some psychic, and there are nurses who are into the woo-woo. We call those like really, things you can't see, things that aren't tangible. There's nurses nurse-owned businesses that are like that. But over the time, I'm going to show you all the different areas within nursing that requires you to have a strong sense of intuition and a spiritual belief for it to be successful. There's so many ways to be a spiritual healer that has nothing to do with just being crystals and being a psychic. If you're a great singer, a dancer, a writer, anything that requires creativity, imagination, you can do that. And once you find your spiritual path, your healing type, which I help my clients do, then I can help you create a business around that, because it's just a strategy for you to find people. You need to solve a problem that's really huge, and once you solve that problem, people are very willing to pay you for your services. And then the second part of that is, once you find what type of business, because I specify an online business, because I'm a mentor. I don't sell a product. I'm not selling Herbalife or some acne medicine. I'm a consultant, and that's my strength. I was the nurse who was like the super user, or the nurse who was really into like the tech stuff. Like, I enjoy the behind the scene things about being a nurse, and that's how I leverage with my business. I love doing things that's analytical and investigating things, and I'm able to do that for other people now. But there's certain nuts and bolts about owning a business that can overwhelm you. When you're a nurse, there's a high chance when you invest into a mentorship program, you'll most likely need to work. And then when you're working, the energy of working 312s or whatever how many shifts you're working, there's a high chance that you won't have enough energy to spend on your business, especially if you have families and you're in school and other obligations. That's what I encountered my first couple of years in business. So I offer a concierge service. So all the things, once we realize what type of business you have, we'll break down like the admin things, like if you need a virtual assistant because you need to do email correspondence, you need to write certain things, you need someone to write your sales page, which is, a simple website, one-page website that talks about your offer, your programs. You also need you need to feel luxurious. You need to feel like self-care. You need someone just to organize all those things for you, and I take care of that. So you can heal, so you can do what you do best, which is healing. So if I had this when I was 2 years ago, like, I would have did whatever it took to happen, because what happens is when you're learning to become a business owner, you go through a mindset change. You go from being an employee mindset to employer mindset. When you're a nurse, every hour you're getting paid a certain amount of money. When you're a boss, you can be doing so many hours, but if it's not effective, you don't get paid, and then things happen, negative consequences happen. And that transition it takes some time, to be honest with you, for anyone, especially nurses, because we're used to getting paid really well for our work. And to be honest, there's days when you have a shift and it's a really easy shift. There's not a lot of patients, the census is low in the hospital. But when you're working your business, it's just different. So what I realized for nurses, what was the biggest barrier is just the behind the scenes stuff, because when you're spiritual and you're creative, we're not really interested in like the email correspondence and all these other admins, so I take care of that. So I just want you guys to know that this group is reopened again, and now is targeted to highly sensitive, intuitive nurse entrepreneurs who are burnt, or registered nurses who are burnt out. But you're not only burnt out because of the work, you're burnt out because you're highly sensitive, intuitive. So when you're a highly sensitive person, our systems are built differently. It's not worse, it's not better, but it's built differently. And if you're not aware of certain triggers, you will be burnt out quicker than your colleagues on the floor. And I didn't know that when I was a couple years back. I wish I did. I wish I knew that, but it's all good now. So partly of working with me is I make you aware of your gifts, because you have when you're highly sensitive, intuitive, it is a gift, but it looks like a curse if you don't know how to manage it. And once you realize how to manage your gifts, how to own your power, how to articulate your needs to people, because when you're highly sensitive and you're intuitive, we attract a lot of like wounded creatures. You know, a lot of people go through things because they can just tell that you're just a source of light, that you're empathic, that you understand the woes that they're going through, so they come to you. But because you don't know how to buffer their emotions, sometimes you take other people's concerns more, and then that's how you become drained. So there's just certain things that you need to have in place if you consider yourself a highly sensitive, intuitive nurse. And even I'm a registered nurse. I've been where you've been, so it's really wise to have a mentor that's been in your shoes, because in my experience, it's one thing to find mentors or coaches or whatever they want to call themselves that makes maybe 7 figures. We see all the advertisements on Facebook or other places, but there's something different when you disclose like how you had a hard shift, or you have a partner that doesn't get just because you work 3 12-hour shifts. It's still hard work. Even though you work 3 12s, it's not just a 12-hour shifts. Every hour your license is on the line. You have to be vigilant. You can go to freaking jail if you make a med error or something. It's just like, it's not just 12 hours. And it's something to be said when you have a mentor who's been there, who can understand. I might not be on the floor with you right now, but it wasn't that long ago where I had those same concerns, and it doesn't take me that much to go back into that place. So my goal is, I want for you to know, not every nurse wants to own a business. And if you don't want to own a business, it's not a judgment thing, it's just a personality thing. But if you are a nurse, especially a travel nurse, there's something about having freedom. There's something about having control of your schedule and knowing that you decide when you go to work. You pick and choose your contracts, and if it's not a good fit, you keep it moving. There's something about the freedom that is a big incentive for you compared to being a staff nurse at a hospital with benefits galore and pensions and all those things. So if that's you, then I really encourage you, if you have the desire to own a business and it's always been in the back of your mind, but you keep on pushing it over years and years and years, I invite you to schedule a consultation with me. It's non-obligatory consultation, and I'll provide the link once this video is over, and then we can discuss if you're ready. You know, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But I really urge you, and I think for this past this year, it's just like, you know, I've known 3 people that I know personally. One coworker who is like 40s, early 40s. She's a registered nurse like me, ER registered nurse, and she was working as a ER case manager. And she passed away from cancer, and she was a beautiful woman, and she was so young and lively. And that happened around late November, and then my grandfather passed at that same time, and I knew another person that passed. So for me, the way I go about my life is different from, I wouldn't say most people, but it's a little bit different from my age group. I'm not about waiting till I'm 67 to retire, because when you're around, especially being nurses, we're around people who are really young, and they pass away quickly. And I would love to be a centenarian and live 100 plus, but I also understand we're all on borrowed time, and you never know. You might live long, but your loved ones might not live long. And so here you are pushing things back, thinking they're going to be there to enjoy those times with you, and they might not survive that. So I really want you to live your life as if it's carpe diem, you're seizing the day. So whatever you can do today, I urge you to do today. And if one of those things is to see if you have what it takes to own a business, so you can really have that lifestyle, spend time with your children, and not ask for another adult for approval, I urge you to book a session with me, a consultation, or also just stay in the group, because you will see at least Monday through Friday, I'll be in this group, and you will see themes and tips on resources of how you can get started with being a nurse entrepreneur. So if you have any questions, just post in the feed, and or I'll just talk to you guys tomorrow. So any questions, guys? It's been a minute. All right. Okay, so it is kind of late, but I'm kind of very spontaneous. I just decided to do a Facebook Live today, but I'll do my best to give more of you opportunity to notification. I'll do my best. I can't guarantee it all the time, but I'll do my best. So enjoy the rest of your evening wherever you are, and lots of love. Bye.